Okay, Lafayette, that's how you see how you did with differential diagnosis here. Okay, differential diagnosis of measles, chickenpox, and scarlet fever. Okay. Remember, your task is to describe this to nurses that are going around and visiting children, right? Okay, first thing, you need to indent your paragraphs, yeah? So see how the margin is basically right here. Let's see if I can get a line going here. Yeah? And you should be spacing that in about 5 spaces, so it should start around here, yeah? So about 5 spaces. There are many common diseases that have similar symptoms and signs and spread more among children. Okay, doctors can distinguish by using differential diagnosis. Okay, so you mentioned doctors here, but you haven't mentioned nurses. Okay, in this handout, I'm going to write how. Okay, you capitalized how here. How you can distinguish between 3 of the most common childhood infectious diseases. Okay, good. Okay, you should mention the nurses in here. You have not done so. Again, you need to indent here. As you know, most symptoms, as you may know is what you want to say here, most symptoms are the same in these 3 diseases, but you can use a rash for a differential diagnosis. If you notice that a child, okay, spelling mistake here, have red spots behind the ear and the forehead, you know that he or she has measles. Okay, later the rash will spread down the neck and the arms and the trunk and the legs and the face. Okay, so you don't need to say, yeah, okay, and the face, and the rash occurs 3 to 4 days after the infection. Okay. Okay, so you might want to not say 3 or 4 days infection. You might want to contrast that with other diseases and when their rash appears. Okay, unlike the rash for measles, the rash for chickenpox occurs first in the trunk and the scalp. Okay. See, the problem is here. It appears in the trunk, but it also appears in the trunk here. Yeah. So chickenpox and measles both appear in the trunk, okay, or the scalp, and lesions deep on the mucous membranes. Okay, so that part's different, but you haven't explained that, right? Okay, the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. However, the rash for scarlet fever appears first in the neck and then moves on to the trunk and the arms and the legs and the elbows. Okay, so you need to contrast these, and you haven't done that exactly right. Okay, maybe you could do a better job with that. Okay. Okay, so now you see what you've done here? It looks like you're starting a new paragraph to me because you've left 5 spaces. Yeah. The rash of measles looks like tiny white spots, while the rash of chickenpox looks like flat pink to red spots at the beginning, but later becomes bumpy and blisters with surrounding halos of redness and develop into rose petals. Okay, they don't develop into rose petals, they look like rose petals. Okay, in addition, the rash of scarlet fever looks like sandpaper with 1 or 2 millimeter bumps. Good. The blisters of chickenpox change and become cloudy over a period of 1 to 3 weeks, whereas skin in scarlet fever may peel and last from 4 to 5 days. Okay, good. One thing you should check if the child's have, they don't have itchy, okay, they feel itchy. As you may know, there's no itchy, they don't feel itchy with measles, okay, but there is, okay, they do feel itchy with chickenpox and sometimes scarlet fever. Okay, so that's good. Okay, that is all. Finally, look and check carefully when you diagnose these three diseases. Okay, so you really haven't done the task here exactly. Okay, it's getting better, but we need to mention the nurses, who you're writing to and why you're writing to them. Yeah, remember they're going to different houses and they're checking, and they might need these skills to pick up on it. The other thing is you're contrasting and comparing. Yeah, try to keep it a little bit simpler. Okay, much better than clinical iceberg. Good job.